As both players have joined the lobby. We're going to have VINCIT Gaming on the defense, Q9 on the offense with the bomb, trying to plant an ARB. Let's get this going. Game number 1 in our final best of 3.
And VINCIT Gaming immediately going out to A road, taking that control. C4 is down right next to the double doors.
Yeah, been looking for a kill, but Fefe is on the hunt. The count is there as well. Wow. And Q9 just got absolutely slapped.
Completely murdered there. VINCIT Gaming in under a minute, just shutting Q9 down. Now, how is Q9 going to adjust? It does appear that Q9 is going for yet another aggro build here, not inching forward yet. They are going to be trying to poke over into the A side with a few players checking B just to confirm there's no attack from behind here. Nades are being thrown out. Remember, you have to economize your grenades in each game. You don't have an infinite amount of smokes and explosives. So every time you put a nade out, that's an asset that's no longer there later on in a fight.
Oh, aggressive from long going into that B side. Stopped by Rizal, but Jawade responding in big time. Getting that control over the shutter.
Yeah, Q9 have been absolutely nothing but steamrolling this game. They're trying to just go for the win. VG are just patient. They wait for Q9 to come in and just do that. They just dominate Q9.
Even better for VG because their position, their defensive position is still not exposed for a lot of these sites because round 1, they came out from the doors giving no information at all to Q9. Second round, they were sort of exposed, but from the A side, it was mostly backup. So still, Q9 has to work their way through on getting those information.
Q9's been pretty aggressive, which served them well in the past, but right now it seems ill-advised against VG. It is a 5v1 right now. VG, for the first time in this series, at a slight disadvantage. The question is whether or not Q9 can close it out.
Yeah, looking at the C4 carrier, that's the most active. Solo has just been all over this map. He does go down, but Long and Jayway get 2 massive kills there for Q9.
It's Fefe on his own, but we've seen him do this before. He's now going to inch forward. One player could come from behind, being around the corner. Now it's a 3v1. Fefe firing a few shots. The bomb has been planted. 30 seconds remaining here on the clock. They know Fefe's position. A few peeks, a few pre-fires here. JY just trying to buy time on the clock. Long in the distance here. JY firing again, and that does it. It's the first win here for Q9.
Yeah, much deserved win this time round. They played that a lot better than they did the first 2 games on this map. So Q9 walking away with something here, and just, I mean, the movement of Solo is just so good. He just needs to match it with a little bit more accuracy and start taking people down.
We've had a shift in pacing here. Q9 much slower. They've taken the win here. I think they've realized there's no reason to blindly run in to VG. The reactions are just too fast. We have the usually neglected bomb site so far here in the grand finals. Bomb site B being covered carefully here. There's been a lot more attention on pushing into A sides. You know, there's an inevitability of that B push. And we have to wait and see. 1:40 left on the clock.
Very incredibly swift change into VG's positioning, just leaving that shutter side hallway totally open and just closing down from the locker side into that machine room, understanding how Q9 works in strategy on this map, and focusing a lot more into the A side now.
Yeah, Knudsen gets an angle there on 1998 and just takes him out from behind. Knudsen is very low, but that is a huge kill for him. Fefe gets Solo. Will we see any more? Lucan gets Jayway. This is absolutely insane. The aggression over the stairs, and VG take it yet again.
What's the right call for a Q9 to actually go for that A side? When you see a member out in machine room, there should be less members defending A side immediately. But that rotation was already there for VG, just ahead of a step.
Especially when they're ready for the push at stairs. It's pretty tough to come around there. There's so few spots to try to aim for when they're attacking down from the stairs, and there's so many spots they might be shot from as they enter that. So great defense here. Already now going in to match number 5 here. We have some spray downs here through the doors. Doesn't seem like too much damage has been suffered. Nades now coming down. Smokes as well as both sides back up.
Yeah, they have such small windows to try and poke each other through and get that penetration through the door. And VG once again have the upper hand as we go into the last 1:40 of this round. I mean, VG just look like they're completely outclassing Q9, but nothing goes down.
Long at least opening up the storage side. Solo even bringing up another member for that B bottom.
VG on the ropes here, 2-3. It's going to be tough to defend here. We do have the bomb going down here at the B site.
I feel like whenever you say VG are looking like they're going to dominate, they just start like falling apart at the seams ever so slightly. But Fefe absolutely gets a huge kill there. It is 2 versus 2, but Fefe is very, very low. So he's going to have to do a bit of a wrap around here if he's going to get another kill.
20 seconds on the clock here. It's now a 2v1. Can they get the kill and defuse the bomb? 15 seconds now remaining. The shots go down. It's a 1v1. Long, reloading. Will he take a peek?
There's
8 more seconds. He goes for the defuse sound. Sounds it off. Great technique. We've seen this, of course, before in Crossfire. The begin of the bomb defusal to bait out the player. Then the dogfight happens with the guns in the middle of the map. Does not work out.
Yeah, with 9 HP left, I think if Zhao got the final kill, I think that could have been just enough time right next to that T4. But still better plays coming out from Long there, keeping everything in control with 6-3. Without him right now, Q9 would have lost all the rounds.
Yeah, Long absolutely being important to the team, but let's talk about Fefe once again. He is 8-2. The guy is an absolute animal today.
Slightly better than Long, yes.
Hey, that's a huge difference. Come on, man.
It looks like they may try to go into B side here. Notice they're going very slowly. There's been pretty retracted defense now for VG. They're staying way back here, which may bait them through this narrow corridor, which we see Knotson aiming at right now. And here we go. A shot misses the foot of Long as they hop through, and there's no turning back now. The genie's out of the bottle. They've come through here, smoking down into B.
2 VG are down already. Mendez and Riauzo. Knotson goes down as well, but Bean goes down on the other side. Luke Count getting a very important kill. He gets another and another. It's 1 versus 1. It's Fefe versus Solo. This is absolutely insane.
And Solo trying to get dual amazing Fefe, but with that amazing retraction, goes back into the room, pretends like he's rotating towards A, but with no C4 so far. And C4 is right next to the B-bomb site.
This is going to be a duel over the C4 here. Not clear that it's safe to actually go in there and grab that. And I think we're going to see Fefe do a full-on rotation. This is a bold move. Again, 45 seconds on the clock. Fefe going to peek. And now, without them seeing each other for this long, there's a bit of ambiguity about where the opposing player is, which makes it much more difficult, I should say, to cover all sides here.
But I mean, Fefe knows where Solo needs to be, where he wants to be, and that's on top of that C4. So Fefe does have a little bit of advantage coming into this game. Misses there, but sees the bullets like go past him, so he knows roughly where Solo is.
Remember that if Q9 just hides long enough, or sorry, he's actually got the bomb, excuse me, he is going to go for a plant over here at A. Now that should be pretty obvious. We're seeing very definitely Fefe inch in here. A nade comes down.
Does get the plant.
Yep.
His flashman knows exactly where he Solo pops out at the perfect time. Fefe could not respond.
That was a dance of death between the two there. I mean, going for the rotation onto A was super smart. It just put Fefe in a really bad spot, but it was so close. That was ridiculously close.
Q9 already dropping a player right away here in what has already begun to be a chaotic match. This is the strat where VG is actually doing the push here. They pushed into mid, but Q9's defense was much better than Golden V's like we saw in the previous series here. And so Q9 has actually pulled back and defended. This is causing Vincent Gaming to then reposition back into an original defensive posture.
Yeah, 3 on B, 2 on A. Stairs already looked after on the side of VG. And I mean, Q9 are playing this very, very passively. They are very deep, and they have to do a lot of pushing through either A-Road or up through Machine Room here. The C4 still in that central square, so it could go anywhere.
So knowing that Bean is carrying that angle from that A-Road into the control room, VG not making any rotation, just opening up AC, just keeping 2 members up from the A bottom near the stairs. That's the perfect call.
Hardly any shots fired in this game so far. We have a few bullets coming through here. It looks like they're itching to at least draw attention here to B. We'll see if they actually commit to it. With the C4 there, you got to think they would want to do that, but then there's already still 2 players down here at Road by A.
I think that was tagged. That's the reason why we had that nade so far.
Yeah, Ruzao's position was absolutely known there by Solo, but Solo still comes away with his tail between his legs because he got the worst end of that engagement.
We're waiting to see which location will be breached if they can. They actually don't have that much time. A full roster here is still in the game for VG as one by one Q9 seems to be dropping like flies. A little bit of progress made here.
Yep.
But is it going to be enough? It looks like they may actually try to do an odd and unusual push into the opposite side of A, which could work. It seems like they've slipped past the defenses here. Great play here by Q9. Q9 may have a brilliant bomb lay here after being at a disadvantage this entire time. JY trying to keep the defense up. Luca behind the stairs, but he knows he can be hunted down from that position. He is picked off here.
And Solo is actually behind the rest of VG here. He could get some nice angles on everything and finish it up. Solo gets one. Knudsen is down. It is 2 versus 1. Mirzanko is down. Solo, look at the hit points left on him there.
Maybe he just kept on control after knowing that he doesn't really have much. He hears everything, gives all the information to his teammates, and then stabs on the back. But still, that was a close round.
Really impressive. We've seen Q9 take the lead here. It's turned out it looked like VG was pretty strong at the start, but Q9 is adapting. They're looking very good. China really reclaiming their dominance so far here against the Brazilian powerhouse.
Yeah, but Bean goes down instantly in this game. Aid and VG are very likely to carry this advantage. They very rarely lose when they get ahead. So going 4-4 here, down to a critical last match, is very, very likely.
It depends how Q9 wants to open this one up, as oftentimes they focus poking into that B side, drawing some attention, rotation into Shutter, and then opening up from the control room side. But this time that was stopped by Mendez, and after understanding there is a sniper out there from AC, I don't think you want to poke anytime soon.
Trying to get the angle there through the windows, through the double doors, not quite managing to find anyone, and we just get a little bit of chicken here.
It looks almost as though they're trying to draw the entire team over to B, and then they're actually going to plant it to A here. The C4 player is just parked in an area that's just probably not going to get scouted as they continue to inch in here. Now, this is less gunpowder here. This is a pretty advanced strat here by Q9. Is it going to work off? First, they have to actually claim B and bait the rest of the team in there. Then they have to plant the bomb. And it's not working out as well as I think they had hoped here. It's now basically a 2v2 over at the B site.
Oh my, Ruzao was coming from the back. This is worse of a case. Solo cannot, does find the kill though.
Solo getting down, Knudsen though, gets another. Mendez gets Solo as well. And now it is 4 against 1. JY has a lot to do here.
JY is going to try to go into the A site now. Is this going to work, and how far can he actually stretch this game? Over to his left. Oh, is he going to win this fight? He does get a kill there. Now what? He can't run back over to B. He's going to have to plant or kill the entire team.
15 seconds.
Yeah, that was a bit of a Mickey Mouse engagement right there. That was kind of all kinds of crazy, but JY does survive, and it is 1 against 3. But they're kind of piling in a line. That is what JY needs, but unfortunately does go down. And there is the defuse.
And you can see now that bomb is dismantled, and the win is going to go to VINCIT Gaming. It's a tough spot behind the missile where the bomb is planted. It's a very nadeable location. There's not a lot of other places you can really go, and especially when you're going to come from 2 sides. That's a tough one to do in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, when it came down to 5v4, Q9 wanted to bait one coming out from the A road, but instead, VG actually came out from the hallway.
Oh, VG getting in and alive in this 9th game here. It is 2 versus 4. Fefe and Lucam have a lot of work to do.
We're still waiting to see what VG can do now. With just 2 players remaining, they had a very lackluster opening here. The bomb already planted. This whole series going much faster than anything we've seen before over here on subbase. But the bomb's down. Fefe and Lucam have to go through such a narrow corridor, and with Long and Solo at different heights here to try to win this gunfight. That's going to be tough. And that is how you close out a beneficial position there. Beautifully done. Now we're going to go switch sides.
I mean, Q9 there just absolutely playing a blinder. And this has happened to us time and time again today. We say that one team is going to be considerably stronger than the other. and it just doesn't pan out that way. I mean, VG against GV, sure, but we expected GV to beat Q9. Q9 today are showing up. This is the winning form Q9, not the losing form Q9 that we have seen so much over the last few years.
Q9 has been very dominant. Now the question is, how good are they when they're on the defense? And Vincent Gaming is going to have the burden of having to breach a location and ultimately plant the bomb.
Yeah, Q9 certainly played a pretty decent first half, getting a lot of points from the blacklist, but with a pretty good strategy. Because in the previous match, they focused a lot on the A side, oftentimes, but in this matchup, it was mostly towards the B side from the locker and also with the hallway. Only towards B side, basically, when they got the round win.
Oh, a pretty cool maneuver here. They're going to go right into A. They're going to be hitting A from two different sides right now with one Vincent Gaming player covering from the back. This is an incredible move here. It's now going to be a 2v3, but cover fire over here by Fefe. I don't know that they're going to be able to reclaim this location. 35 seconds on the clock here. Q9 just trying to find an answer. Is this too much of an obvious location to push? Should they split it up? I think they will actually split up. Long going here to the other entrance. But again, this is a tough spot to reclaim once the C4 has been planted on A, especially with two players hiding down here in stairs.
There it goes. Mendez and Fefe closing out the last two Q9. And that collapse on, like, VG collapsing on Q9 there was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, there was just nothing you could really do when you're trapped between a rock and a gun place. You know, there was just too many bullets flying out to anyone to survive.
This round, we're going to have a little bit more attention here onto A. I love that opening strat, though, there by Vincent Gaming. They really do have a different approach. We've never seen A breached quite like that. Again, peeking on both sides is 2 minutes is really just the beginning here of the game. A few more smokes and nades do come down.
I think at that moment, Q9 was still waiting for some rotational work to be done on their side, making sure they have the right position before VG comes in.
And there is nobody here at Stairwell, and in fact, just one player over here in the A side.
Big bait by Jiawei.
You can see Q9 were expecting that vent push again and weren't expecting this, but Jiawei, 2 kills.
He's still alive.
This is insane. Q9 with some of the best defense we have ever seen on subbase. Phenomenal. I have no idea who's going to take this series, but Q9 shutting down actually a pretty difficult position. Once we saw Vincent Gaming get in there, I was pretty confident they would be able to at least plant the bomb, but no way. The gunplay from Q9 too strong.
I think they threw down a lot of flash and smoke and smelled something was fishy. And no one actually came out to bite them from the stairs and thought, okay, A-side is open? They're 5 alive? That's weird.
You have to wonder if maybe they thought that, you have maybe one player there to show themselves. You can actually bait them out further, but really good reactions there from Q9, who is now in the lead in this game. We have a pretty big skirmish over here at room control entry.
Well, we'll see what goes on here. The C4 has been dropped, so they're going to try to find an aggressive position. VG need to make this work for them. They need to get this win. They need to start taking control of this match.
Few nades coming down now. And it looks like they're going to go back into mid. They might try to do that vent push. This is similar to what they did in game 1. We already have 1 kill over here. Bean now out of the fight in a 5v4 here as VG. They're not overextending, which is what I like. Vincent Gaming is being very calculated with how they move. A swap with the bomb here is, it looks like we may have them close in on B.
Yeah, Solo actually reached out to A road, so they know that the attack's coming from the B side. And now there's a rotation, but still not being able to really open up B side.
Trading blows here. Ryuzao gets another kill. Solo is the last man alive for Q9, and he is in no man's land. He's over in control. He's in the hallway. What is he gonna do? We can see a wraparound here by Ryuzao, but Fefe and Notzane, they are 2 incredible players, and I don't think Solo gets one.
Gets a kill while he's flashed too.
Does he get? Oh, I thought he was gonna get Fefe there. Fefe is in a position to be hit.
Low HP, the time ticking down, and Ryuzao from the side actually grabs the final kill.
And now we are at 6-6. It's anybody's game here in a nail-biter of a match here. Vincent Gaming, it looks like they may actually try to push into A again here, but instead, no, they're just going to play a calm and patient game. Keep in mind, VG usually twice in a series will actually bum rush.
Yeah.
They seem to like doing this, and usually kind of a weird spot. A lot of times they'll do it as the defenders even. This time around, Q9 getting picked off one by one.
Yeah, Solo down. Jewe almost down. He has nothing left. Long is also wounded heavily. And we see that VG actually lose Ryuzao. They're almost lost Pepe.
It's just two more Q9 players here, and they are out of position, going to have to reclaim the A site as the bomb is just now being planted here. A couple more nades coming down, but you can see Fefe staying away from the nade hit location here. And now some smokes of their own as they just need to buy time. You can see Bean trying to peek, trying to shoot through that console there on the edge of the window. Fefe, again, also trying to buy time as a 98 is coming forward. Another nade comes down, pushing it back. He's flashed. A few more bullets spray down. Fefe behind the wheel here.
No real rotation from VG, and that might just be the undoing of them. It's 1998 versus Mendez.
1v1. Bomb not defused yet. Mixed defuse sound. He just stays back.
7 seconds. Oh, that's not enough time.
That's not enough time.
Mendez.
Oh my God. Clutch play. That might be the game that allows Vincent Gaming to win this series.
Yeah, that box right on top the 5 box. You can't shoot through that box anymore. It got the change. You can't really have that big spray, so you have to wait. That's the perfect spot to be in.
It was a great abuse of time there because you have to both kill the opponent and defuse the bomb or defuse the bomb. But of course, you're not going to get away with just defusing that bomb in that moment. So great way to run out the clock and force a win there for Vincent Gaming.
Yeah, I do question VG. They could have had a wraparound very early on, and they could have made that a lot easier for themselves. They do get the win, but at what cost? They took a lot of damage there. They ended up almost losing it out. I feel like a wraparound that they could have done much earlier in that game could have solved that game a lot quicker. But we see VG bomb rushing A now. Lucan gets J-Way.
We see it's a 4v3 right now. Q9 beginning to fray at the seams here. Fefe, again, with this sick invade here, the bomb once again goes down. Being in the same position as before, can they break through? Will 1998 bomb rush once again here? 1998 solo on HP, 1 bullet anywhere, and he's done. They actually swap weapons here, going for the sniper rifle. Is 25 seconds going to be enough to save the day here?
He takes some more damage, 98. He needs a massive shot, takes one more down. Just Mendez now. But against 2 low HP members.
Oh!
Immediate shots!
That spray transfer was beautiful.
It was perfect, and now they're up 8-6. Q9, look, they're playing the game of their life here, but Vincent Gaming is just making magic happen here.
But we've seen this before. When they make magic happen, they kind of crumble at the seams, but it's 2 against 1. Solo has a lot to do, and no, VG!
Just 1 round off now.
They are so close to closing this out. Momentum on Vincent Gaming's side. Q9 has actually had a very good series in each of these losses in the last 3 games, but it is Vincent Gaming coming out on top, just barely. And now Q9 needs to pull it together. It needs to have a pretty insane comeback. Basically perfect play from here on out. Let's see what kind of strategies they're going to employ as we go into what could be the final round here.
It seems like VG almost got this, but Q9, they can certainly make it happen. Of course, they have to make some better rotation in terms of decision, especially towards that A site. And Solo did overextend a little bit. At least that's a 1-1 trade. But of course, 4v4 situation, better for Blacklist.
Yeah, Mendez getting another kill on the board, 9-6 overall. But look at the positioning. They are just controlling this game. Q9 are kind of out at sorts, over in Shutter, over in Cage. I mean, B-side is there for the taking.
Yeah, they're definitely overestimating the motivations to try to take A-side here. B only has 1 sniper covering it for the time being, and I think especially with one of our players going through a vent here, they may manage to take this. A poke into A, but it's all a feint. They're going to try to instead go into B here. The area is smoked. Will they get the bomb plant off?
98 goes down. Bean is very low. He did get a kill, though. Ryuzao gets 98. Bean gets a cam as well. Bean on an absolute tear this game.
We're still waiting. C4 is now dropped in the B location, which means we're going to have Vincent Gaming somehow kill the team off or reclaim the C4, which is obviously going to be guarded by Q9.
And still Rizal right up on the storage. And also Mendez coming around from the back. I think he's going to be the key. It'll take some time. So Rizal just drawing, making a lot of sound, drawing all the attention from the other side. J-Wave, Mendez takes 2 down!
Bean is the last man left, and he only has a sniper, and it's down!
That is it. Vincent Gaming takes number 1, and you can see how hyped they are. I gotta say, Q9 played a nearly impeccable game back there, but Vincent Gaming just knows the ebb and flow of every game. It was like they were in Q9's heads back there, and now they just need one more win, and they will have defeated Q9.
I mean, it was looking bad. First half did go the way of Q9, but VG just came out the gates in that second half. A mixture of aggression, pure strategy, and patience as well throughout the whole of those 6 sets. I mean, damn, that was so good. It was clean on VG's side.
Yeah, just from the very last round, Q9, they knew that Mendez was also alive. After checking Rizal from the lockers, they should have checked the other side. Actually lined up perfectly for Mendez to get that through shot immediately into the shutter, into the cage. That shouldn't really happen, but after watching that, I think the pressure got on to Q9 a little too much.
Yeah, I think it suddenly became a little bit too real. They were actually in the lead against Vincent Gaming, but you know, one of the reasons why Vincent Gaming is so robust and has such strong results is they are able to adjust and basically open up the dashboard, turn the dials, and rearrange their play so that they can come back. Here's some highlights from our games now.
Yeah, sometimes they went all out on aggression, and we've seen VG once or twice, especially against GV, where they have these aggressive rounds. They win, and I feel like they're too pumped up, and they start to lose a couple of rounds. Like, yes, they were aggressive, and I thought Q9 might have taken advantage going into the last few games, but unfortunately it just wasn't there for them. I mean, Vincent Gaming absolutely controlled this one in the second half.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought in the second half. I thought Q9 was going to strike back even further because they got more points from Blacklist, but it was Vincent Gaming knowing exactly how to counter the strategies of Q9. Actually, sort of had like they were having a better flow. They were having such a better read in terms of rotation and the strategy from that Blacklist side. Q9, they sometimes came out from GR, never really worked out. Those 2 rounds went more, they gave a lot more energy towards Vincent Gaming.
G-Cliff, who do you think is going to take Ankara?
I mean, Ankara, that's should be the map for a lot better snipers, but Bean certainly for today has not been really showing up to a par level for Q9, especially coming in as a sort of as a replacement for Wolf. And Vincent Gaming not really having a dedicated sniper. Of course, they do have their players, especially Notson coming to play, and sometimes Mendez, sometimes even Lucan holding it. But with the firepower, I think VG should be able to handle today.
It does seem like VG is in very good shape. One thing about VG is they're just not that one-dimensional when it comes to the gunplay. It seems like whether it's the rifle game, the sniper game, or even the pistol game, they know how to win, and especially when it comes to spray control as well. A lot of the most chaotic moments of the game seem to be the ones where Vincent Gaming is absolutely at the deepest understanding.
Yeah, and even with the backs up against the wall, they still control themselves enough that they don't panic. We saw that spray transfer that was absolutely nuts on the AK, where it was just 1 head, 2 head done. And I mean, VG are phenomenal. Q9 though, I feel they can take this if they slow themselves down ever so slightly and force VG to play Q9's game instead of Q9 playing VG's game.
Look at the adrenaline flowing here over at the Vincent Gaming table. The anxiety is real here for Q9. They know they can take games off Vincent Gaming, but they have to continue to adapt. And of course, this is just another normal esports day for Vincent Gaming. These guys are not here to get as far as they can go. They're here to win the entire thing. And right now, Q9 is just another obstacle, maybe another stepping stone in their path. They've won 1 game. They have room to be creative. They have room to make mistakes. But we need to see what's going to happen when we go into game 2.
I mean, this is absolutely insane right now. Today has been so good for all the teams involved. GV, VG and Q9 have all played phenomenally, but VG just look on a different planet at times compared to everyone else.
It's really incredible to see because Q9 came in looking so strong, and I thought, okay, maybe we're actually going to have an upset here. But VG seems to know not just the right strategies to use to win, but the right rotation of strategies. It's never clear if they're going to go to A or B. They're very good at peeking and poking and figuring out, okay, what's next? And then they'll even do stuff like when they're on the defense, or on the, I should say on the defending side, they'll actually just rush and take over a position. I love the way they're approaching this.
Now this makes it so much harder for Q9, especially the shot caller, how you actually place your teammates, where you let your sniper to be. Usually it's going to be B side, but knowing how aggressive VG can be from that yard passage and into that A site, right in from the air duct, I actually think it might actually better to actually have a 1-1-4 split, having a lot more defense towards one side and risking the other side. That could be one way where Q9 can actually split this one out. And still much of a favor for VINCIT Gaming, though.
Looking at this series, is there really a mistake that Q9 has that they need to sand down, something they need to adjust if they're going to come out here with a win?
I legitimately don't think there is. I think on a skill level, they're just slightly behind on Q9, and that slight difference is huge when you're at this level of Crossfire. It's like the most minuscule difference decides games. I mean, Fefe has been unbelievable. Lucam, Notson, and Mendez have all been off the charts. Ryu Zhao even comes in at the end, but when you look over on Q9, it's basically J-Way being maybe solo. 98 has the occasional showing. Long occasionally, if they can get that performance, that level all together, we might be seeing a different Q9, but they all have an individual round where they're good, never together.
I suppose we also got to point out that even when it looks like it could go in either direction, it is VINCIT Gaming that just gets the kills when it really comes down to the wire. Our game is now loading up. We're going to go to the map Ankara, our first time with this map here as we're in day one of the Crossfire 2020 Grand Finals. Again, VINCIT Gaming with a 1-0 lead in this best of three.
As expected, 5 riot pulls. VG actually going aggressive into the office entrance. And 98 actually gets the kill instead. Lucam coming from the top and immediately responds.
Yeah, this is a very back and forth, aggressive match between the two so far. This is almost like a death match right now, aiming and looking for those kills. This is unbelievable.
They're going to go into A here. Let's see if VINCIT Gaming can defend it. Bomb's not planted just yet. Oh, really?
Zhao misses that shot. That's huge because Solo was carrying that C4 into A side.
Yeah, Fefe is going to have Bean in his face. Does take him down without taking any damage. Fefe, that was dirty. You should not be allowed to do that kind of thing.
Nades coming in there. The damage comes in from above as it explodes. We're waiting to see if now VINCIT Gaming can try to reclaim this. It is possible in a 2v2 to pull this off. JY and Solo seem to be unaware of the position up until just now.
Switches to the pistol. Oh my goodness!
That was perfect. And VINCIT Gaming is losing their minds. It is so loud here. You can see that was a moment that Q9 could have, turned a new leaf here. They got the plant, but on Ankara in that spot, it's hard with only 2 players to cover all the different angles. And VINCIT Gaming with the instinct there, picked the right angle to come in, shot them down, diffused, and now it's a 1-0
The
lead.
2-2 usually come back from the air duct, not having both members from A long. That was a big risk. VG again going aggressive into that quarters.
Yeah, they sent one down the center passage, a few down the quarters, and then in the quarters passage, it is just a firing zone, but we do see 1998 get his moment to shine here. He does take down one. Fefe is very low. Notson and Mendez are also relatively okay, but their positioning, they are all stuck together.
We saw JY pre-fire there, but to no avail. That gives away his position. They're trying to relocate here. 98 now, staying back here. Again, the C4 is defended. Great shooting there. It's a 1v1.
Notson. Oh, 98. Oh, my goodness.
That was some clutch play. And you can feel right now Vincent Gaming feeling the heat. They know they need to pull it together. They are able to beat Q9 in a series, but it almost always comes down to the wire.
And it comes out so close. Usually VINCIT Gaming doesn't really come out this much from the Global Risk side. But I think they're just feeling the heat right now, even from Global Risk just coming out all the way across the map, taking down Q9. But in the second round, it was at least stopped by 1998 there. So now this should be a good pace, back to a normal game.
Q9 going to edge in here to A site, but there are 3 Vincent Gaming players there to cover. No nades have been thrown yet here from Q9. We're waiting to see if they're actually going to try to breach this location. Vincent Gaming preempting this. Look how quietly they're going to try to edge in. Once they come in, they need to shoot everybody down, plant the bomb, and then set up the defensive position to gun down the remaining 2 players that will come to try to save the situation. Does Vincent Gaming, though, have an idea that this is coming? Here we go!
I don't think they do. It is 5 against 3, and the support is trying to make its way around, but Ryuzao gets 2. And
But all of the members for Q9, they're so low in HP. Fefe takes 1 more down.
And it's just going to be 1998 now. And now no more players as VG clutches it out again. Now Q9 got the position, but they lost too much HP. That was really the defenders, the 3 players there, doing their work so that the remaining 2 that came to defuse the bomb and kill off the team, it was easy. It was 1 pistol shot for each, and they're gone.
Yeah, the 5 versus 3 was looking very, very rough on the side of VG, but as you said, they did the job they needed. Everyone on Q9 was low. And I mean, damage is getting done. VG have a little bit of an advantage at this moment. Notson is down. Mendez also very low. He goes down too. Q9 turn it around, but 98, he goes down too. Fefe, Lucam, and Ryuzao are still there.
Yeah, Lucam goes all the way around. C4 is dropped back in the passage, so they have to come back into the passage. Lucam taking another one, and Ryuzao coming in as an help. Now, J-Way's all the way out here. He's alone. He's got to fight 1v3 and get that C4.
This is brutal because he is being hunted right now. It's almost impossible. Look at this. This is so interesting. They just abandoned the C4. Vincent Gaming has a very different approach from conventional bomb defense play. Usually each player, they would try to triangulate around the bomb to defend it. Instead, they just start to sweep the level, knowing that really all they have to do is try to catch one player coming from one of the possible angles. Now, in this case, you could see, look, right now JY's over the bomb, but he's like, okay, where are they? He's looking around. He's not sure. He picks the bomb up.
Now, the question is he going to go A or B? Now, logic would decide that you would take the long way around to B and hope that VG decide that A is the objective.
VG is going to hold here up at front yard.
Yeah, right next to GR spawn. That's the best place.
Yeah, they're going to wait and see which location is going to be planted, and then they're going to just come in at one angle and try to win with guns over position.
But, I mean, that one angle could be the undoing of them. I mean, just all it takes is one very good spray by J-Way, and all 3, Fefe, Lucam, and Ryuzao, can just drop like absolute bricks.
The Ryuzao, of course, can spot. Can maybe look for that plant going into the A side, but not going to extend too far.
The bomb is down, 35 seconds on the clock. They could try to come around, but instead they're going to push all the way here through APSG.
Yeah,
some damage dealt there.
A passage is the way. I mean, J-Way had the line of sight. Can he get this done? 1 is down. Oh, that was almost 2.
He's getting lower. 13 seconds on the clock. The defuse should be enough time to get that off.
Hopefully they remembered that they actually need to defuse, because that would be embarrassing.
We've actually had tournaments where someone is defusing, the players all grab each other and start to hug the guy, and his finger comes off the key and the bomb goes off. So got to be careful. It's happened before in competitive play. This time around, we're going to have Q9 again here with the bomb, pushing now over here.
Right up central passage, and that's going to split the map in half and allow Q9 to dictate which side they're going to go, but they might get collapsed in on here because, VG, they did have a nice position, but 2 down. Fefe, Lucam, Mendez gets beamed down here, and it is 3. No, now it is 2 versus 1 versus 3.
If VG's going to lose a game, this is the time it's going to happen. Unless Notson can really clutch through here. 35 seconds on the clock. He has to kill 3 players and defuse the bomb.
Yeah, that's usually where Q9 has to strike. He leaves a lot of mid-side open. Notson. See one more from the side, 22 HP.
Notson, no way is he going to do this. This will be absolutely insane if he manages to take J-Way.
He's got to be careful. Okay, he sees him. He's going to go for the defuse. He's going to fake defuse, try to bait him out. He's going to come out here from the left.
Oh!
And that was crazy. Perfect play there by Q9. I like the unusual angle that we saw Notson try to come at it to surprise him. He almost actually closed that out, but clutch play by Q9. Q9, again, they can take games off Vincent Gaming. They just have to bring their most perfect play.
I mean, if Notson was a little bit more patient there, he might have been able to take it, because I don't think J-Way was expecting him to come between the crates there. He didn't expect between the boxes. I think if he was a little bit more patient, he would have been able to take it.
Yeah, also, knowing that he's pretty much low HP, he was jumping through it, making sure he doesn't get headshotted immediately. So, and moving into the next round, again, a good trade. Bean has been getting a lot of pretty good kills over into the A main long, but it was just not highlighted because VG, even with that kill, they were just going at it all the time, trading at least a better kill.
Again, a 4v4 here. We don't have any positional advantage here for Q9. They haven't really gone in for it. It looks like they might go into A. Right now, Vincent Gaming's actually disjointed. We have one player stuck in the quarters passage, while the rest of them seem to be hugging up here at B site. But this end may end up working out for Vincent Gaming, because B site is going to be where the invade will happen, and they may end up getting hit here from behind. In a matter of seconds, it's going to be up to Fefe to try to curb as much progress as possible. He does have a nade ready. Is he going to throw it now? Because it looks like the attack is now on.
Yeah, that's a nice grenade down into that little channel there, and all hell is breaking loose. We're on board with Fefe. He gets one. Long is down. Solo and Bean is still up.
Yeah, Notson gave a lot of information that the attack has to be from that B site, but now because of that, he has to make that long rotation into B, which is taking a long time and a long wait for Mendez. He could have actually open fired at least at the member.
We see Notson now coming up. He might get the jump on Bean here.
Does.
Whiffs the shot, though. Flash coming out here. He's just going to get him in there. He's actually flashed himself for a second.
Yeah, unfortunately, Solo was there to kind of wrap around. I thought Mendez might have tried to make an appearance there around the back as they were fighting Notson, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Bean hiding around the wall. Oh, one down. Notson is the last man standing.
Not going to be enough time to actually go for the defuse, even if he wins that fight, but Bean takes another one down. Q9 actually surprisingly getting a lot of wins from the blacklist.
Yeah, the first half of this was very much, the first three matches was VG looked unstoppable. Q9 have come back into this. Can they continue to do it?
But the question, of course, also is how quickly can VG adapt? We've seen this happen before already, where it seemed like Golden V would really had the numbers of Vincent Gaming, and Vincent Gaming completely rearranged their play style and came out on top.
Ooh, understanding how aggressive VG can be towards that office side. He picks one more.
It does appear that A is going to be the target for the bomb here from Q9. There is only one player on Vincent Gaming defending this, but there is a push through the middle here from Vincent as well. Q9 may be biding their time a little bit too much here.
Yeah, 1998, though, is fine. Solo takes down Notson. So we'll see if they can continue to capitulate. It is 5 versus 3. Fefe gets 98, though.
Checks into A member and doesn't really strike into that A site, which is a weird shot calling by Q9. I think they should have pretty good understanding of the rotation of VG. Makes a late rotation.
Yeah, they're rotating onto B. Mendez is out of this fight, at least. He is way over in B, while everything is going to start happening in A. So we'll see what happens here. And 2 down. Mendez is the last man alive.
And I don't know if Mendez can take this. They're going to be able to plant. Well, they already have, actually. And I think they can smoke this. It's going to be so hard to imagine him pushing through. And there you go now. Q9 taking the lead 4-3 in what has been a series I think nobody can predict. These guys are playing so well.
Yeah, but Q9, I mean, this kind of happened in the last map on sub. They were ahead when they were playing on Blacklist, and then VG get Blacklist and just absolutely swipe the floor with Q9.
BG is still having a lot of early strategy where they're looking down on Q9. They're going actively into quarters, into the central passes where you are not really supposed to do from the global risk side. Q9 is still being very passive, just having a low understanding of what exactly VG trying out on this map.
Yeah, VG's movement here has been very abstract. They've got a lot of very interesting positions I wouldn't quite expect here. But this time around, Q9 actually dialing it back quite a bit, deciding instead we need to be a little bit more conservative here with our movement, because if Vincent Gaming is really being this weird with how they place their players, there's always a chance Q9 can simply fish them out, kill them, and then close in later on.
Yeah, Mendez is kind of in no man's land right at the bottom of center passage here. And, I mean, it is very easy for Q9 to wrap around him, but he's already low. It doesn't matter, really. He'll go down anyway. But we see here, Lucam is in an aggressive position with the rest of Q9. 3 members here going to push against 2. Mendez is still sitting there in center passage. And does get a kill. He gets down solo, and that is a big kill.
It's now a 4v3 here. The bomb is still not that far from the spawn, to be totally honest. B is completely covered as we're having a sweep here of A from Vincent Gaming. And it looks like they may try to inch in here to A. It's now a 4v4. I think Vincent Gaming may have lost track of where Q9 is. But Q9 is going to come into A. And this is actually very doable for Q9 if they go fast enough. And with 30 seconds on the clock, I think fast is... Oh, my God, they're going to go to B.
Oh, and Fefe goes down. That might just turn things around. Lucam gets Bean. And now there's 3 at center passage. It's 3 versus 3. They turn around. Mendez is still alive. He has nothing left in the tank, but he is still going, and he might just get the drop here.
Look at where Natsun is. He's right on top, waiting for that plant. That's 1, 2 easy shots.
Beautiful play there. Is the bomb just going to get defused?
Nice. It should.
Hold on. JY's doing it. Some shots fired here.
Comes buying time for the defuse and gets the kill. Nice rotation. And that position right on top of B. You just have to check that spot.
And it is 4-4 again. This happened last time round where we ended the first half 5-4, and it's gonna happen this time round.
One way or the other, somebody's going to take the lead here. Let's see who it does. Really impressive movement pattern there by Q9. It was VG had great defense, but I really like the thinking here by Q9. It's very unusual. With these guys all now flash here, but it looks like they're going to do a hard push with the aggro here from Vincent Gaming, trying to come in here and close down onto Q9. Is it going to work? It seems like it might be backfiring.
Yeah, it is indeed. Central passage, and Lucam goes down. No. It is 2 against 3. It looks like a collapse is on its way for VG in this round.
And they can just rotate easily towards that B side after knowing that there's 2 left from A only. Mendez, he's got the sniper though, so it's totally possible opening up from the yard side into that B plant. As long as you catch the member going out. Oh!
1 down.
Oh my God, he has like 0.1% HP.
Solo's got 1 HP.
Okay, it's a 2v1 right now. Natsun needs a kill here in between the crates. No! Q9 taking the lead before we switch sides here. The pressure is on for Vincent Gaming. They need to step it up, or they are going to be down 0-1.
Lucam ended that half, I think 12-4, 12-6, something like that. He is an absolute monster right now, but second half is on the way. It's going to swap sides. Do you think that VG are going to do exactly what they did last time, where they lose the first half and then win the second half 6-1, or do you think this is going to be a much closer game? Do you think we're going to go to map 3?
I mean, I hope we go to map 3. We haven't done that yet, right? So far, these guys are seeming to be so evenly matched here. But again, the shoe's on the other foot now. How exactly is Vincent Gaming going to be doing when they have to be on the offense?
We'll see as VG 5 rifles immediately taking out 98. That was an aggressive position coming out into the entrance part of office.
Yeah, Mendez gets J-Way too, and it's all going wrong for Q9 here. Long gets Fefe, but oh look!
What? Whoa! Just Mendez remaining here with hardly any HP. Long and Solo on the hunt now.
Long. That's just illegal. Like, that should not be possible. It was looking so good for VG.
And the perfect timing to peek out right after the turn.
Yeah, as he turns his head, he's shot down. Q9 getting further and further ahead now as it is 4-6.
I mean, that was looking like it was signed, sealed, and delivered to VG. And then just an absolute turn of events long, slaughtering VG.
And this time around, it looks like VG is going to try something a little bit different here, hugging over to the left side of the map at quarters passage. But will they commit? They're trying to abuse the reactions here of Q9. Nades now going down here through the center of the map.
Trying to fake out, and it seems like it's going to work at least a little bit here on Q9 because they're taking a very defensive position around B site, whereas A is their target. But we see J-Way take down Mendez, and that is the go sign for the rest of Q9 to try and rotate around. Solo take.
JY's defense is just incredible, but he does end up going down here. The question now is, what can these two remaining Vincit Gaming players do here against the remaining 3-9 of Q9? The 3-3 of Q9, excuse me.
I don't know. Nutsen's ready. He's going to go in, gets one, but Ryuzao is last man standing against Beat. Oh! He gets one against 1998, and it is all even. It is between him and Bean.
Immediate peek into that site. But C4, after knowing that C4 is still down there, both players actually making a rotation into the yard side. Bean might have a better end of this.
This is a critical match here. It can go either way. And it actually goes to Q9. Again, every game is so important, and the fact that that was a 1v1, that's a real blow there to VINCIT Gaming. Remember, they won against Golden V many times in these critical 1v1s, but right now, when it comes to the duel, Q9 is on top.
I mean, Bean got the absolute drop on you there, and that was just enough to close it out. It is currently 7-4. VG have to have an epic turnaround in order to be able to win this one. But they are 5-manning over on A right now. This is as aggressive as it will be.
Nades now coming down here as Q9 is going to have to actually back up. It looks like VINCIT Gaming is going to get the position here over on A side. Q9 with some decent defense, but right now VINCIT Gaming, it looks like they will get the bomb plant.
Lookout gets two, but does go down to 98, and it is 3 versus 2. 98 is down, Bean is down 2.
I love that. I thought they were going to plant the bomb. They saved it and instead used the guns they had to just more bullets. You know that Q9's going to panic. They're going to run in there, and that's exactly what happened. VINCIT Gaming grabbing a win.
Yeah, that was exactly the time where you're supposed to get that plant, go into a safer position spot into that A site. And knowing that Notson just went out says, okay, you're not going to expect an attack right now, and got those 2 kills. And with that victory, yeah, VG should be able to come back. They got the first win in Blacklist.
They need to start the momentum, though, because they need to get back-to-back-to-back wins here if they're going to close this one out. It is 5-7, but this is a very aggressive push again. 5-man push onto A. Ryu goes down to Solo. Notson and Mendez get 2 here. And now it is all going their way, but it is 3 versus 2. Okay, Q9 turn it around.
Oh no, Notson was out of bullets at that moment where he was supposed to take down Long.
Nades coming down here, 98 and Long, both very low. VG just trying to hold on. Again, the bomb has been planted. They're going to come around this corner. It's now a 2v2. But keep in mind, both Long and 98, very low on HP. Bullet spam's coming down. It's just Long remaining, and he does go down with a shot through the crate.
Mendez take an absolute bow. That is your game right there. He had nothing left and brings it home for his team. There is no way he should be doing that, but he does it. He is 5-2 so far on this map.
Sometimes when you're feeling it, you can get all those wall shots, the headshots just in without even yourself knowing what's going on. Mendez again coming clutch, breaking into the yard side. J-Wave comes out from the quarters.
Yeah.
That was unspotted.
3v4 now. We have JY coming around the corner. Lucam taking some damage. JY backing up, though. JY does go down as the push comes from VG. Solo now going to come from behind. He could actually get 2 kills here if he does this correctly, but he might be a little bit too slow. Oh, barely clipping him over there, but of course good cover by Ryuzo.
Yeah, Ryuzo actually felt a disturbance in the force, was knowing that Solo was coming around, but Bane
Lukem versus Bean. Bean with a pistol, and VG ties it up 7-7.
3 in a row
Hell yes.
in that blacklist.
Hell yes. This is an amazing series. It could go either way. Again, there was no way for him to reload his rifle. He had the pistol out there. He tried to edge away, but that's when he goes for the kill. He smells the blood in the water.
I mean, there is just something about the way that VG are playing this right now. They are sensing things in the water. And look at this, Q9 trying to take a page out of VG's book, going super aggressive while they're supposed to be defending. But look at that, VG, they instantly know what's going on, and they try to punish as they try to push a nice position onto B.
It's only 98, and Solo can get some more cover from that yard side. But the fact that
Oh.
C4 is all the way down there, VG got a lot of pressure to make that big rotation.
VG getting picked off one by one here. They're actually going to go back down through the tunnel here. It does look like this should be Q9's game to lose, to be honest here. This is going to be so difficult for Vincent Gaming. Vincent Gaming now in hiding, hoping that maybe a moment like this arises where they can actually get some pickoffs here. We're back in this game. It's Fefe of all players. We've seen this guy make miracles happen before, but he's against 3 of the best gunmen here from Q9.
Yeah, and he also has nothing in the tank. I mean, you take a look at his hit points, he's got nothing left. But
if he can go around and assassinate each player one by one, Q9 tends to break up more than Vincent Gaming does in these positions. Vincent Gaming in a 3v1, they group together. Q9 seems to try to cover multiple areas, and that may be a situation that Fefe can win, but hold on. Yeah.
He was looking
Not
the
the
wrong
case.
way as he went round there, and J-Way is the one to land that blow. It is currently 8-7, and this is as close can get between these two teams.
C4 is now being moved closer to A, but it may end up staying in the mid here. VG went for an ultra-aggressive play in the last game. They may be, well, maybe not as shy this time around. 4v4 is A is all, but VG's to claim here.
Yeah, Mendez is on his own, right down on quarters passage there, and he's going to run into 2. 1998 does get the kill. J-Way is with him as well as they push into center.
Yeah, at least this time, so C4 was not robbed all the way back into the central quarter passage. As they know something's up, they did not really see Spot Bean coming out from A side.
J-Way, he does have the drop on them here. He gets down Lucam, he gets down Ryu. I mean, that was a huge wraparound for J-Way there.
It's a 2v1 right now. Fefe's starting to do it. He's Ramboing his way through this level.
Being switched off to the rifle now, trying to bait off those boxes coming out from the AC.
An ample moment to reload there. Right now, he's going to be pushing here through the middle. Note that our 2 Q9 players are actually coming from behind. If he's fast enough, he can get a plant over here, probably at B site, but I don't know, maybe even at A. Depends on where he thinks is safer. But if he goes to A, he will be going into the crosshairs of our 2 VG players, who are our Q9 players, rather, who are on the hunt.
Oh, but Solo might just get the drop on the behind of...
Fefe might just bait one from the GR spawn and then go immediately to B.
Okay, it's going to be a plant. That's going to put 40 seconds on the clock right now for Q9 to have it. Gosh, great play by Solo. Popping out of nowhere, almost like a jump scare in a horror movie. Ends up killing him off. He'll get the defuse, and that means it is 7-9. If Q9 wins one more game, they have won map 1 on Ankara.
It's too close to call right now. I mean, Q9 easily could take this, but VG definitely have the skills and the willpower to come back into it. So we'll see. Oh, wait, Mendez is instantly down.
Jumps into quarter and takes one down immediately, jumping into the central passage. Now they're lost. They don't have much of a back control. All they have is Loftus. VG, they have to push through B.
Yeah, and we can see the instant defensive posturing here on the side of Q9 as they instantly swarm around B. Office is the last refuge here on this side of the map, but they're going to start rotating down through center, through quarters, and up into A.
This is going to be the hardest push here for Vincent Gaming yet. They're outmanned, they're outgunned, they're outpositioned.
Oh, but Bean looking into peek. Anyone coming around, but misses the shot.
Yeah, but that gives the instant go for Solo to start wrapping over to A. Actually, he kind of doesn't. He's left his teammates kind of in the lurch here. He has started the rotation, and the whole of Q9 are rotating over to A, but Beam pistols down Lucam there.
And now it's going to be a 3v3
Fefe.
here. It's just two more Vincent Gaming players here. Fefe in the back here. A JY and 98, both very low in HP. Shots fired. Fefe takes him out. It's now just 98. He's coming. He's firing. He's going to back up. He needs to reload. His position's exposed.
19
Will he
HP.
relocate or will he try to actually push through?
Yeah, and he just ate a grenade. That ate a massive
2v1.
chunk of his hitbox. Guess what?
What?
So 98, you absolute animal!
That was insane. The double kill through the crate to save the day. And that means that Q9 right now against Vincent Gaming, the favorite of this group, is up with a 1-0 lead.
That's oftentimes not supposed to happen. Exactly the reason why you have both players up there is because you can't get that double kill that easy. But VG, 1998, they're clutching it, understanding that should be the position with just two members, low HP, getting that headshot, just clutching it at the end.
That was such an exciting moment back there. It looked like they might have had it for a second, but no, just perfect gunplay. He decided to not rotate back around, but instead to try to push through. And it was like both of those players were just in the same spray vicinity that through that crate, they ended up both getting hit. And that was a pretty incredible win. And you can feel the tension here right now for Vincent Gaming. This is no longer a walk in the park, probably like they expected it to be. In fact, Q9, with some of the best play in their careers, is giving it to Vincent Gaming.
Yeah, they turned it around. It was looking kind of rough at the beginning, but they did get the better result in the first half of that map, playing on Blacklist side. They did win that side 5-4, and then they win the second half 5-2-3. So 10-8 there was no means like an easy walk in the park for Q9. BG made it very difficult, but just some excellent solo plays on the side of Q9 helped bring it home for them, and we're on to map 3.
This has been just such a special series with these two players. I love what I'm seeing. We're going to go to Fort, and that was just, look at this, there it is. Perfect play.
The spray and pray definitely worked out right there.
And that's usually what you do through the smoke.
Right? You know, it's so fun how everything comes down to the wire here in Crossfire. Right now, it's going to be a continuation of our battle right now with China versus Brazil. Now, Vincent Gaming, they've had so much success in the past. Q9 was, honestly, I don't think anybody really knew where they were going to get here today. They're a strong team, but you know, with Vincent Gaming looking so good, I'm very impressed and very excited to see that they're performing as well as they are.
Yeah, Q9, after watching the first match, I thought they were going to just easily go down against VG, knowing that they are a strong team, but still, Vincent Gaming, they're one of the best out in the world. But after the first match, Bean started to show up from sub-base. Okay, that was up to par level. And then from Ankara, Bean was taking member down one at a piece. So that's really helping the team entirely. As a sniper, you don't really, compared to all the riflers, you don't really have to catch up to the team level as the other members. So I think it's actually working out pretty well for Q9 right now.
And one of the things as well, I just want to quickly point out, Port has not been a particularly strong map for VG today. They did beat GV like 10-7, but I mean, Q9 looked absolutely dominant against GV. Of course, they slipped up in the second half, but they looked so solid. They won the first half 8-1. I mean, Q9 looked really good on Port.
It does seem like, especially on that second map back there, we had the gunplay be key here for Q9, which is not what I was expecting. You know, in map 1, it seemed like no matter what Q9 did, it was really Vincent Gaming that were better at firing. But when it really came down to the wire, specifically in moments when the bomb had already been planted, it was actually Q9 that ended up infiltrating, getting the kills, and then, of course, the defuse.
It was oftentimes just Q9 just clutching it towards the end. Surprised by how good J-Way can actually be. Oftentimes from the Chinese qualifier, he was actually a double-edged sword with the most kills, but with the most death at the same time. So sometimes he can be literally on fire, or sometimes he just goes down to dumpster. But today he's on fire for sure.
Who do you guys think is going to take this now? Is it going to be Q9 or is it going to be Vincent Gaming?
I still have my money on VG, but there is a part of me, there is a tiny little part of me, that doubt in the back of my mind that's like, Q9, have this in the bag?
I have a feeling for Q9 right now because Bean's showing up above par level. He's making those birdie shots every single time he's on that AWM so far, and that's been the problem against Fiji. Yeah, switching my mind, going into Q9 now.
I'm wondering what Vincent Gaming is saying to each other right now, because they did play very well. It didn't seem like there was a loose end on the team. I suppose they maybe did give the opposing team the bomb site more than I think any of us would have expected. Would you agree with that? It did seem like we had more plants there than your average top-tier Crossfire game.
Yeah, that Ankara game, I gotta say that was unlike any other matches that we had from the qualifier, because both of the teams, they, even from the global risk side, which is a little more common for Ankara, but not that much. Yeah. We don't really have that much rotation coming out from global risk side, but both of the teams, they just wanted to reveal no other strategy but to go out, all out into the quarter passage, and then just take members down. So that was somewhat of a weird game of Ankara that we had. That's also the reason why we got to have a lot more plant being down.
It seems as though, like, the two teams, this sounds stupid, but it looks as though they didn't really prepare properly for Ankara. Like, you would expect a much stronger defensive showing than what we saw. So maybe they just weren't quite ready to face it today. Maybe they were expecting this to get banned out and maybe we get another map through. But we're going to port, and this should be a good one. It is the final map between these two teams.
That's right. It is going to come down to one of these two teams. Q9 is really sticking it to Vincent Gaming, but Vincent Gaming's already won one game. Can they come back and dominate? Again, the winner of this map is the winner of the best of three here with Q9 versus Vincent Gaming here at the Crossfire 2020 Grand Finals. And our game is now loaded up.
Excited to see who will be the first place out of Group A. Already trying out to be A-long. This is really one strategy that you can only do against Fiji because you know less likely that there will be a sniper. So you're expecting less from the A-top.
That's a good point, G-Clef. They're very rifle dependent, but I think part of the reason why they're okay with the rifles is they can get multiple headshots at once, especially in clustered areas such as this one. Some pre-firing here. I think they've maybe given away a little bit of their position.
No, after checking, there's no on top peeking out at all. It has to be one of the B positions, so getting all those wall shots just in case.
I mean, Mendez does have a sniper on him, but he is out in no man's land over at B. And the rest of his team have got to try and hold off this attack on A. But Fefe
through the smoke?
And he's going to... Oh, I thought he was going to get a third. He got the drop there, but it's 1 versus 3. It looks like Fiji have got this one in the bag, but Bean has been on fire today. He might be able to make a little bit of magic happen as Lucam is on the chase. Mendez with him as well. Ryuzao backing up. Oh, there we go. Lucam pistols down. Bean.
Beautiful play there with the pistols. You can see some frustration over there by Q9. It was interesting to see the bomb get dropped, and they just pushed right through there, closed in. No way Bean's going to be able to hang on in that situation. This time around, it doesn't appear that there's any clear agenda for Q9 other than to be patient and not overextend.
Yeah, when you're in that box position where Fefe was exactly, the reason why you throw the smoke down is it's supposed to make you blind and make sure you get no shots actually done. But those two headshots, I'm pretty sure Q9 was also surprised that they lost that many members.
Yep. Fefe is an absolute monster through the smoke. And I mean, he has a very nice position now in the middle of sideways. But it looks as though Q9 are going to be wrapping around the bottom of the map, going up B road through the passageway here. They get Fefe. 1998 does manage to take him down. So a big team push happening right now.
Yeah, boost up into sideway. You know there's at least one more A. That's the reason why they sort of poked into B side, making sure there is a big rotation from Vincent Gaming.
They're going to abandon warehouse for now, but it doesn't seem like Vincent Gaming really tried to secure that location. I think they're pretty confident there's going to be several rotations here from Q9. A few wall spams there, not doing too much damage. Again, a 4 versus 5 right now. Q9 with a lot of HP, a lot of manpower here. The question is, when it comes to actually breaking into an area, can they do it? And it does appear that, again, long A is going to be the goal here.
Yeah, Notsen is there in A. He is going to be the sole defender, and the shots coming out might trigger a
Incredible.
rotation.
He does manage to get flashed over there. VG still with some pretty solid defense. As one by one, we're seeing their Q9 players get picked off, but there's still a real shot here that they could end up coming here and taking A.
Ninja still coming in with that C4 solo. Does lose that duel in that bridge, so that's still big.
Oh, Long gets not Zane. Oh, Lucan with the triple kill there. 3 kills, and that is another game going the way of VG.
VG is starting to pick up momentum, and I can feel the tension here from Q9. They need to start winning. They have the ideas, they just don't have the execution quite yet. Nades now coming out as the area is being smoked here. We have Mendez firing some rounds here, some pre-firing just to see if you can't get any extra damage off on the other side of the map here.
When things are working out, the game certainly makes it just becomes so much easier. Everything works out for you, but when the game is hard, when nothing is working out for you, and sometimes you have to solve those questions in the middle of the game within 20-30 seconds. That's the world-class level that you're looking at right now. If Q9's not really able to solve that question right now against VG, they will just drop a lot more around because VG has been making a lot better rotation. Even after a rotation, if it's a bait, they immediately go back to their original position. That has been the big play for the last 2 rounds so far.
Yeah, and VG holding a great defensive line right here. You look at that, you can almost put a ruler over it, and everyone is behind that line. Are they going to be able to hold off the push from Q9? It looks as though they are going to be making their way through B Road into B, but we saw this last time where they took a risk. They pushed up a little bit, got 1 kill, and then immediately withdrew, and it doesn't look like they're going to do the same this time.
If Q9 can break into B, it's going to create a very long delayed rotation from a top. So this is actually a pretty good attack if they can manage to break in.
Yeah, it's a big if there. They're in the warehouse. No nades have been chucked out yet here. Here we go. He smoked the area, but they're going to come out here. And again, there's not very much to defend, so the smoke doesn't do that much at all over here.
Mendez goes down as well.
Luca taking some shots here.
Notson gets another as well. It is 3 versus 2.
It's still possible for VG to try to defend this area. The C4 is down. Q9 having a hard time being very low on HP.
Misses.
Oh, you can hear Vincent Gaming cheering right now as what was a tense moment is becoming a giant relief. 3-0 lead here. Q9's doing a good job. They just can't finish it off.
Yeah, that was a 3v5 where Q9 was supposed to win with that opening kill, plus 1 more kill coming down from the bridge, cutting off the backup member.
Well, I think 1998 actually saw the person who killed him. Like, he looked as he was turning around. You could just about see his opponent in front of him. But he carries on turning around, and that is how he ended up dropping. I think if he got the drop there, we'd be looking at a 2-1 score.
Yeah, Lucam just kept up. He kept up with the low HP, survived for such a long time, just kept himself at the B bottom, making sure that the attention is drawn back to him, while the other teammates were always coming in as a backup from the back street.
And for now, we have to wait and see which location Q9 really wants to commit to. You have about a minute and a half to go back and forth and try to smoke and try to bait people out. But again, if Q9 loses this, it's hard to imagine a situation where they just win every game from here on out and get a real good comeback.
Mendez spotted all the members coming into B entry.
But not everyone. And Vincent Gaming, they haven't started the defensive rotation over to the left, but Mendez gets solo, gets the first, and that is the trigger for his teammates to join him. Yu Zhao is going over there. We see Lucan goes down here to 1998, but B takes a massive hit.
And Q9 just not able to get any position here yet. It's still a 3v3. We have Long about to come out. This is a predictable position, but it's hard to actually take them out from that angle. And a good rotation firing through the door. 98, the only player that's remaining, and he is shot down with a pistol.
And Mendez gets it, and it is currently 4-0 VG.
And this is looking hopeless right now for Q9. They are just not able to get anywhere anymore. It seems like as far as defense on port goes, Vincent Gaming knows the ins and outs completely.
And Notson's still on A top as long as he's alive, and there's comes back with Rizal, getting that massive kill.
But suddenly it all goes pear-shaped for VG.
It's just going to be the moment. Can he actually pull through? Solo needs to win this
He's
for
got
Q9.
all the kills, right? I think he's got 4 kills picked up, at least 3. Get Solo.
Solo gets revenge there, and it is 4-1.
Vincent Gaming feeling the heat. They know they really need to pull it together. They have the lead, but Q9, again, proves they can come back from the dead. That could have gone either way. You know, these 1-versus-1 duels with the 2 players, these are sometimes the most tense moments because it really can go either way. And each win is just another slot you're filling in until you can actually complete the task, get the 10 victories, and close it out. Here we go. Another spray-down fight here right now. Fefe killing Long and damaging JY.
Fefe plus Knots in there. The duo to actually go on an off angle where you don't really expect an enemy to be. So Q9 was sort of off positioned.
Yeah, Fefe absolutely sprayed and prayed that, but did manage to get at least 1 kill on Long. And JY is very hurt too, so job done, I would say, from over there.
Well, with Fefe still alive here, that's another gun that can get, you know, who knows, maybe even 4 more kills here. So it's going to be tough. Nades are continuing to come down now, as it looks like A-Long may be the angle they want to take here. 1998 to flank here on the side, but VG seems to be rotating pretty well. Certainly to intercept 1998. And I think they're going to abandon this position.
Yeah, Q9 shoots into A at least a couple of times, trying to bait that rotation into A, immediately switching into B with C4 now.
I do want to point out, in the next round, we may see Vincent Gaming do a bum rush again. They do like to do this at least once a round here when they're playing defense, is actually do a role reversal and go full offense. Now we have a push, it looks like towards B warehouse. Again, the open ceiling there at the warehouse does allow for some interesting nade play, but this game's gone on long enough. Nade numbers are limited.
Solo there caught a glimpse of, I think it was Rizal through the tiny little window there, decided not to engage. And we see here, we're on board with Rizal, gets 1, gets 2, almost gets the 3rd. Solo is so low.
And we have Knotson coming out here. Solo goes down. It's just Bean. And Bean has been eliminated. That's 1-5, ladies and gentlemen. And you could see the frustration right now here with Q9. They know they're good. They know they have the play, but every time Vincent Gaming builds a wall, they stop them, they shut them down. And now Q9 is close to being flushed out of this best of 3.
Yeah, Q9, they're trying to default. They're getting all the default positions so far in this first half, but they're playing it very passive and slower compared to all these other matches that they had so far today. So being on good, just Vincent Gaming understanding that's going to be the speed that Q9 should be carrying into port. They're just dominating over with the rotational speed right now. Always having outnumbered, just having a lot more firepower when they need to.
One good thing here is VG have definitely secured the first half as they are 5 up. So the first half definitely goes their way this time round.
But let's see how VG handles this situation. A lot of players in warehouse. Looks like Long and JY going to bunny hop over in here to mid. And there are 2 VG players completely out of position here. I love how retracted VG is over here, but that could end up just giving Q9 the spot.
Oh, Knotson.
Oh,
Luke
no.
Kaum is also on a tear. 3 kills going their way.
Well, they get into B, but can they even keep it? They're not going to have enough time to plant, I think. We have 4 VG players coming down. No plant. Solo is too insecure in his position to commit to anything like that.
They need to do a lot of pre-work before getting that C4. Now with that smoke down in the back street. They also have to cover B entrance at the same time. So the push coming.
Instantly deleted there. Solo is down. And that is 6 to the way of VG.
Questionable positioning there against the smoke wall. There's, you know that they're going to just completely blast through that location. Maybe it's like because it's so counterintuitive, maybe it is the good spot to try to defend from. But yeah, I love Vincent Gaming jumping into that. So the crosshair is probably not going to be over their character's avatar.
The 4-2, usually you go back into the B entrance, make sure that area is cleared up, and then go for the C4. Because they had some time, not too much, but about 40 seconds to actually do so.
Fefe is down early. Did manage to take down JY before he expired as well.
Basically an even fight, though, a 4v4. A little bit of a strain on the defenders here as they still do have 2 locations to cover.
Yeah, because of the positions that VG is so passively back into the off angle, not really showing up at all. Bean has been very quiet with that AWM, finally switching over back into M4 now. I think that's one sign that VG is really shutting down that there's make sure no sniping action coming down from Bean.
Now we have, again, very conservative play from Q9. I don't blame them at all, right? They've had so many moments where they just can't quite seize the location. But VG's being pretty patient here. They're really not overextending at all.
I think this is the most patient we've actually seen VG today. Like, they're not really pushing any kind of angle on Q9. They're not really trying to force Q9 into a weird position. But VG do have a nice wraparound here if they can exploit the positioning of Q9.
55 seconds on the clock here. Solo taking a little bit of damage.
Oh, look at the read from VG.
Catches the rotation of Solo going back into the BL spawn, into the B road.
And we may have some action here at Warehouse. This seems to be a little bit predictable, though. We do have the standard defensive position here of the 2 crate defense. But they actually just breach it easily. And Long goes down. Solo, can he do the damage he needs to do? 98 coming around here. He's buying quite a bit of time. Vincit Gaming. And Vincit Gaming right now does come in here with a kill.
Knudsen gets 1998 to close it out, and this has basically been a complete wash for Q9. Vincit Gaming just absolutely dominant this first half.
A real loss of hope here for Q9. It does seem like the writing is on the wall here already. Before I can even finish my sentence, another Q9 player bites the dust, as it doesn't matter which role Vincit Gaming is here. This is why they are such a dominant powerhouse here in Crossfire.
Rizal just getting down all those shots coming down from the bridge. Now going into the B side immediately, takes down 1.
Yeah, 1 going down. Look at the instant rotation here from Fefe, from Knudsen. And they need to, because they're the last 2 surviving. They're going to push into Q9 on B spawn.
Some flashes down here. This is the moment that Q9 might be able to take it, but again, they have to clutch it. It looks like Fefe is going to turn around. Knudsen going to go underneath here, back down through the warehouse. Is this too predictable?
Into the B entrance, but I think this is certainly a better push that they can try because there are going to be at least a member from B back street.
It's just Fefe now. Can he do it? No. No way. Not in a million years. And that cleans it up on one side here. But Q9 with 2-7, they need to have the best play of their careers here if they're going to come out on top.
Yeah, VG just need 3 more to close it up. But, I mean, the GR advantage on this map, G-Clef, do you think that's going to play a big effect?
Certainly, it's going to put a lot of pressure. We saw Q9 playing a little too slow, especially when they're making those decision-making plays, making a rotation. It was always Vincit Gaming reacting immediately. And oftentimes when you're doing that from the other side, when the side switch now in the second half, you will just not find any space on the map to actually break through.
I don't know what Q9 needs to do to win this right here. Vincit Gaming is just delivering. And they seem to be much more composed than what we've seen out of anything we've had here so far today.
98 actually into that center passage already. Had a pretty good spawn.
We haven't really seen the bum rush.
No, not at all. I was expecting that to eventually happen here. But I guess we just don't have it this time around. Maybe they were afraid because of the way that Q9 was playing that last time. They did try it on the previous map, and it completely backfired.
Yeah.
So and that was a closer series.
So I think maybe they're just deciding to, you know, play it sensibly in this last game. They do not want to lose.
We have Long here on the roof, but he decides to hop down.
Yeah, boosted up all the way up, but got not much of an information and just had to drop down. Relying a lot, giving a lot of pressure to Bean, who is actually switching over into the GR spawn, looking into the central street, leaving A side open for a while.
And again, a little bit of peeking here at the warehouse, but there's no sign that there's going to be any committal here. C4 is being couriered up here, and I think, in fact, we will have a push into the B site. There's only one Q9 player here defending. It is in the standard lower location. He's actually not on the high ground behind the box, so he's basically hopping and peeking. He's not going to try to shoot down any players. What's most likely going to happen is when he sees somebody come through, he'll call his teammates over. He'll probably chuck another nade here or two. And does he actually see this is coming? JY's not going to be able to get out of here in time now.
Instant rotation from his teammates, but JY gets Luke count. Can he get another? The rest of Q9 rotating around. He does. And this is JY's game. VG are out of it.
That was some good play. And I think right now VG's being reminded, you better be careful, man. They need to be extremely cautious.
Yeah, JY just playing it perfect when you're the only man up there. Just make sure you have the flash, stay alive with your teammate coming as a backup towards the back street. Got big 4 kills to start off, that at least showing some signs, some promising signs for Q9 to maybe come back in the series.
A seesaw in behavior here is, I think we may have them try to push into A.
Being actually near the boxes with an AWM.
Very interesting.
Not from A top.
We might have a few more nades thrown down here.
Yeah, sideways here. They're not going to push through to A. It looks like they might retreat back down towards B road.
Q9 needs to have surgical precision here with their defense each time here. Vincent Gaming needs to just get 3 more wins, and they are in the clear.
Q9, though, all the defensive apples here are in the B basket. A looks very, very open. Only Solo really looking into that angle there. And a little bit of a go-ahead here. We'll see what happens. Ryuzao goes down. C4 looks like it might be planted sometime soon.
It's going to be an easy plant by leaving A side open, but I do like the decision, still bringing 1 man down, having the firepower matched up to a level towards the bridge. Now the retake. How clean is this going to be?
The bomb is planted here. Vincent Gaming is going to try to come in here now. Here comes Q9, some great spray, and it's a 1v3.
Solo wins that A-long fight.
Just with Solo and JY still here, Luke.
He doesn't have many bullets left.
10 seconds, he's
Pistol.
up on top.
Oh, great play there by Q9, and they will get the defuse in just in time. Look at that. Beautiful play.
Solo, they're managing to make it happen for his team. Wow, 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 wow.
Solo was solo. He dropped down right after and died.
Why
Solo
not?
in HP.
All right, so what have VG got to do to get a win on this side of the map?
I mean, they need to be able to at least secure the bomb after they've taken it here. But, Q9's doing a lot of damage before they manage to get in. This is similar to our previous game, but in a role reversal here. They just have better defense this time around. And we're seeing, the damage. Oh, this actually might be the game that VG can take here. This is
Solo
not a bad
peeked out
position
a
at all.
little too much, and understanding where Solo is. 98 also peeked out at the same time, but could not really understand where Fefe was at that moment.
But JY is still up. Look at JY stats, 5-1 right now. The guy is on an absolute mission to get Q9 this victory.
Here we go, into the warehouse. Only 1 player here defending. This is going to be a tall order here for JY. Now the smoke's coming out here. This should signal that the rush is coming. He fires, he does not get enough damage here, and it's now a 3v1, but Natsen goes down. Fefe and Lukum at half health here, beat it long. Whoa! And nade's coming out here. Can Fefe do this? This is pretty hard. Oh, it's on his right, on his left.
No, he
Oh
cannot.
my God, Q9's doing it.
Q9 get 3 in a row, and the VG's front line is just in complete disarray right now. They just can't seem to get anything to go their way at all.
Yeah, being that drag headshot on top of box was near impossible. That drag was so long. That accuracy is coming up to par. Clutch in a 3v2 situation basically saved Q9's round win there.
Okay. As usual, we're always going to have the peak in the warehouse. Doesn't mean we're going to actually have a full-on rush.
It is 4 going down there. We see Mendez overlooking A, and kind of coming round the back of his team, keeping an eye on center, keeping an eye on any of the rotations that might happen by Q9 over to B side. He calls it out. I think he spotted it. And we see VG pull back into that center lane position, the center street.
That's a sign where things might not actually go too well on that round. The smoke does miss, but still being fired. Solo does peek out, staying alive is the key. Might actually switch over to AWM because he's so low.
We do have them going through mid now. It looks like they're going to hop up here, over through the sideway. Is Long A going to be the target? A lot of patience exhibited here by VINCIT Gaming, but they have not won anything yet on this side. So we're still waiting to see what they can possibly do.
Yeah, Mendez has also been very, very quiet. Bean goes down to a nice shot there as Russo kind of tries to take a position here. A defensive line on A, and it looks as though VG might just have the position here to hold A site. They might be able to do it.
This is perfect. As long as they can catch Solo coming around from the sideway.
Great play here. Pepe goes down. It's just 98. 98 needs a miracle here, and he has picked off VG. Now, 2 wins away. That was an excellent play. They got in there. They planted the bomb. Q9 a little bit panicked here. They cannot afford another mistake like that.
Yeah, VG looked as though they may have just been the defensive team there. They held A site so fluidly. They got every key position that you can possibly get at A.
And then Rush is coming immediately towards the B side, taking off. J-Way goes down and long. B side is totally open.
Yeah, Nelson, 2 kills already here.
Complete shatter into the defense over there by Q9. Q9 now needs to reclaim this, but it's a 2 versus 3.
98.
Now it's just Bean. Bean looking. He was flashed a second ago. He needs to get the kill. Nade's coming down, and it's going to be Bean shot down, giving VINCIT Gaming the 9-point lead. That is critical. Again, if you get 10 wins, you have won. Right now, the burden on Q9 is to make it 9-9.
And match point, basically, Q9, they need 4 in a row to tie this one and go to the extra round, which seems very, very tough against the momentum of VG. Slowing things down like the play, as they would love to rush into the B side, which is right now being totally controlled by Q9.
I mean,
members right next to the warehouse.
Q9 have won 3 in a row. They won 3 in a row at the beginning, but that was before VG's wheels got rolling. It took them some time to get into this map on this side, and now they seem to be snowballing victories. They won that first one. That looked against the grain. They won the second one. Can they win a third? But no, J-Way is deciding he's going to have a game.
Just insane. We see now just one VG player. Surely this is going to be a Q9 win here, and this may be the comeback that allows them to tie this up. Let's see what happens. I can't imagine Mendez wins this. But, not a lot of pressure right now on VG. They basically reached that watermark. They just need that one more win. It's forgivable if they lose this round here.
But I think Mendez hasn't quite received that memo, and he might just want to close it out himself.
Well, that would be the best ending possible, as if Mendez solid snakes his way around this map, killing off every opponent. Yeah.
Somebody give that man a cardboard box so he can
It's possible.
stealth.
Q9, they're coming out. This is a pretty good bait spot from BL spawn. It's not likely you're going to check all the way back here.
Solo's down. Oh,
yeah, no way. Okay, 9-6.
It's getting closer and closer.
If I'm VINCIT Gaming, I want to end this as fast as possible.
And it looks like
get
that
me out of here,
It might just be the case. They kind of bum rush center street here. 3 of them pushing right up the middle of the map. And that's going to separate Q9 into 2 very awkward positions. But it looks as though Q9 are deciding to hold pretty good shape right now.
And for those double bait spots right off of the sideway. And like the timing attack for Solo, he's always looking for those aggressive timing attacks. But that's actually right after Solo checks into the sideway, and immediately that's when VG is going to strike into A site.
They're coming through here. Bean spots and calls it out. A couple sniper shots coming down here, but he is eventually mowed down. Q9098 is picked off here. It's a 3v3. It could go either way. Nade's continuing to be littered on the map here. We do not have a bomb plant yet.
We do not. Oh, another kill. VG are going down, but it's 2 against 2. It's 1 against 1. It's Long versus Ruzao. Who's going to get this one? Long drops down Ruzao!
Unreal! They have done it, defeating Q9 in the best series we've had so far.